What's up, YouTube? It's your boy AB back with another video. And 'tis the season. I'm coming at you guys with 10 fall fragrances that you need. Also, I might as well just title this the 10 most powerful fragrances in my collection, because even though they're ultra strong, they are also fit for the fall and winter season. So let me get you guys started with the one fragrance that I have. Is a decant, actually. I do not have the full bottle yet, but I will be copping a bottle soon of Armani Honey. So I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this is probably one of the strongest samples that I have out of all my samples. I have Inicio's Side Effect. I have Uncompromising Zohan. So you know, New York Fifth Avenue by Fragrance de Bois. And of all of my like testers that I have, this is the one that is 2 sprays max. Last 10 to 12 hours. Sillage incredible. Longevity incredible. Compliment factor incredible. I'm not going to steer you wrong when it comes to Armani Honey. I will be copping the bottle soon. I just had to throw that in there because, as you can see, or as you will see, all the rest of the fragrances that I'm going to mention in this video are full bottle presentations. So that's the one tester that made the cut, and it is incredible, guys. Nice vanilla bomb, but it's like vanilla done in a very much different way than you're used to in like a Mercedes-Benz Club Black or like a MFK Gentle Fluidity Gold or something like that. So on to my next fragrance. So this fragrance really needs no mentioning because it is very much well renowned in the fragrance community. It's been around for a minute. I'm new to the fragrance space, so this is something that I came across like a year ago on Fragrance by CA. If you haven't heard of Tom Ford's Ombre Leather, then you're missing out. You're just missing out. I'm sorry, but 2 sprays max, and this thing gets me all through the day, all through the night. If I'm going out, it's definitely an outing type of fragrance for me. And I know some people don't say it's not really, like, you know, not really mass appealing, but if you ask me, this is one of the most mass appealing leathers that you can own. This is one of the more designer leathers that you can own, and I love it because it gives me those compliments like a designer fragrance supposed to. I only need 2 sprays of Tom Ford's Ombre Leather, and I get those compliments, man. I get those compliments just roll in, and I think that it just depends on the kind of man you are when you put this fragrance on. It's really going to tell if you're going to wear the fragrance or if the fragrance is going to wear you. That's the best way for me to describe Tom Ford's Ombre Leather. Mass appealing leather. It's one of their staples in the line, and I'm glad I got it. On to the next fragrance. I'm so glad I picked this up because I deem this fragrance to be my dawn fragrance. So this is my most challenging fragrance in my collection, but it's also probably one of the most strongest. It is also probably one of the most strongest fragrances in my collection as well. By the house of Raif, Oud Al Kaib. I don't know if I just butchered that last one. Basically, what you're going to get is oud, fecal oud, like barnyard oud, and leather. So when I first smelled it, I was like, wow, like this smells kind of, it even has like a boozy benzoin kind of feel to it with that oud leather mix. When I first smelled it, I was like, man, like this smells like a guy holding a cigar at the bar, in his 50s and 60s, owns a construction company or owns a company, period. And he's in his prime. You know, he's leaving his prime, heading into retirement. You know, he's in that financial stride in his life that, you know, he's taking care of his grandkids. His wife is probably a stay-at-home mom. That's what this gives. Okay, and it only cost me like 20 bucks. I would say, guys, like, this is amazing. I don't know what the fragrance comparison is, but I really dig this from the house of Raif. And I appreciate my man True for putting me on. On to the next fragrance. I only need 2 sprays of this, and if you haven't already seen how the bottle is already shaped, it's by the house of Issey Miyake. Nuit DC, the Eau de Toilette. This is kind of like, this, if I had to describe this fragrance, this would be like Dior Sauvage in the 80s. The Eau de Toilette in the 80s though, like with an 80s feel. It's not a clone of Dior Sauvage, the Eau de Toilette. But what I will tell you is, if you take that DNA and add some extra spices and pepper, that's what you get with this. This is like Dior Sauvage Eau de Toilette for a man in his 30s or 40s. He has kids, he has a job, and this can get you through an entire day. 2 sprays is more than enough. I did 4 sprays of this at work one time, and I literally choked my coworkers out. So I would never do 4 sprays of this ever again. It even choked me out one time with 4 sprays. So 2 sprays is more than enough for Issey Miyake's Nuit DC. Trust me, guys. On to the next fragrance. Now, the next one has been getting so much hype in the past 2 years. I mean, so much hype. And I remember when I first smelled it 2 years ago, I was like, man, I have to have it. I have to tell so many people about this fragrance. And I just, anytime I would have a conversation about cologne and fragrances, I would always mention Al Hermane's Amber Oud Gold Edition. So some of you guys know this as the Herba Pura clone, the most popular Herba Pura clone on the internet right now as we speak. But I'm going to tell you right now that it's definitely worth the hype. If you don't want to pay Herba Pura money, but you still want that Herba Pura DNA, and yes, I have smelled Herba Pura, you cannot go wrong with this. And the performance on it is insane. For me, 2 sprays, and a lot of these that I'm going to mention is like 2 to 4 spray maximum, but this one is definitely a 2 spray maximum for me. I don't need any more than 2 sprays for this fragrance. I'm going to say don't pay any more than like $80. I mean, I got the 4.2, so off of Fragrance Net, probably like last year. So, you know, find the best deal for you online at a discounter, or if you can't really, or you don't really trust discounters like that, you know, find your local perfume discounter and probably like the mall outlets or something like that, and see if you can cop a deal on this, man. This is definitely worth the money. 2 sprays, and yes, it's a compliment getter. People are always going to compliment you when they smell this on you. This is a person that likes to be outside, out and about in the city, doing their thing, going to brunch, going out to bars with friends. That's what Al Hermane Amber Oud Gold Edition speaks of. So go cop it. The next one also needs no introduction because it's one of the most popular designer fragrances in the past year or two, and that's Dior Sauvage Elixir. I remember when I went to go pick this up with one of my closest friends, and I let him smell it, and he's Middle Eastern, by the way, like he's from Jordan, and he was like, man, this smells so good. He said, I wouldn't pay the price, because he likes to save, and I'm with him on the saving. You know, it's just when it comes to these fragrances and colognes, I don't really like to save. Yeah, I like what I like, and whatever the price tag is, I'm just going to pay the price tag. Or if I can find a good clone, I want to take the good clone. Dior Sauvage Elixir is probably really a 1 spray maximum. Just spray it on the front of your neck, and it'll last all day. It won't be inoffensive at that point. It'll be strong enough for you to still get noticed. But for me, 2 sprays of Sauvage Elixir has always been proven to be more than enough. One time I did 3 sprays, and I definitely choked people out with 3 sprays. So I definitely don't recommend overspraying Dior Sauvage Elixir. And I know you heard that plenty of time by fragrance reviewers online. So like I said, I'm new to the game, so I'm just only giving you the colognes that I have in my collection. So yeah, on to the next one. So the next one is a personal favorite of mine, and the reason why I don't really wear it that much is because I really only want to pull it out for special occasions. I call this my signature scent, Even though the fragrance that I'm going to last mention, I call it the king of my collection, but just because it's the king of my collection, that it doesn't mean it's my signature scent. And my signature scent, always and forever, if I ever run out of a bottle, I will buy another bottle, and I probably will buy a backup bottle of this if this were to go discontinued. And that's Armani Stronger with You, absolutely. Please understand that the hype is real. The hype is real. I have put this on, leaving the house, go to the store, Walmart, you know, out for an hour, come back, neighbors coming downstairs, I'm coming upstairs, and they're like, "Sir, I smelled your cologne when I left and I came back." And they said they were gone for like 15 minutes. So understand that the sillage on this is insane. It is serious. It is strong in projection, but the sillage is where it's just it's nuclear in sillage. It's going to leave a humongous scent trail. The simple fact that the whole staircase, and I only had put on like 5 or 6 sprays on my neck. And the fact that my entire staircase of my apartment at the time smelled like Strong But You absolutely says everything I need to know. And every time I wore it after that, I just always got compliments on this fragrance. So this is, man, enough cannot be said about Stronger With You, absolutely. It is my signature scent. And like I said, I will only wear this for special occasions. I won't just put this on just to put this on at all. The next one on my list is from the house of Afnan. It's from the Supremacy line. And the compliment that stuck out the most to me was, oh wow, someone smells really sweet. Someone smells really good. And it was this fragrance, Armani Supremacy Ood. Now I'm gonna be honest with you. When it comes to ouds, and by the way, this is a clone of Inicio's Oud for Greatness. But when it comes to ouds, this is probably the best oud I own. I think it kind of rivals Armani Stronger With You Oud. I do have that in my collection. And no, it didn't make the list because the last two, unfortunately, they are just, they're insane. And I love Stronger With You Oud by Armani, but I can't not mention this one, Armani Supremacy Oud, before, you know, featuring Armani Stronger With You Oud, which I will do a review on that coming up soon. So look out for that review on the channel. I've gotten some crazy compliments with Supremacy Oud, and so this is one that I think that I will also keep a bottle of at all times. I'm gonna keep a backup bottle of this. It's not that, it doesn't cost that much. It's like 40, 50 bucks on discounters. Women love this. Women really love this fragrance, especially if you don't spray too much, because I have worn this to work and that was a mistake. Trust me, this is not work safe. It smells good. It smells really good. And if you're just now smelling it, you would think like, oh wow, I could probably wear this to work and get away with it. But then you spray 2 or 3 sprays, and believe it or not, the projection is insane on this fragrance. So this is not work safe at all. It does smell good, but it is, please keep this for outings, big crowds. Keep this for going to the club. That's what this is for. So Armani Supremacy Oud definitely got to make the list. We're getting down to the last 2, man. And I can't not mention a fragrance from the house of Montblanc when you're talking about powerful fragrances. That's almost asinine in the fragrance community. I mean, come on now. But the one Montblanc that I do have, I have 2. I have a 3rd on the way. Yeah, like I said, I have a growing collection, guys, so work with me. But this was the very first Montblanc that I got that started me into the Montblanc house. And I will always have this in my collection because I don't need more than probably 1 or 2 sprays. And that's Montblanc's Honey Oud. This is the #1 date night fragrance that I would recommend to any man who wants to stand out. Anytime I've ever worn this on a date, guys, I mean, I've had other women look at me. I've had guys, and I can't make this up, I've had guys ask me like, hey bro, I don't know what you have on, but it smells just distinctively different than anything I've ever smelled. Like those the kind of compliments I've gotten with Montblanc's Honey Oud. And I promise you, it lasts 12 plus hours. Sillage, insane. Projection, insane. This is not one that I would wear to work. This is not one I would wear to a formal event at all. This is for casual outings, big crowd, open areas. Yeah, the club, date nights. That's what this is for. And depending on the occasion, depending on how big the crowd is, you can dial it back to two, I would say 4 sprays at the most if you're like in a really open area with this fragrance. But man, is it amazing. Trust me, I will go cop this before Montal even thinks about discontinuing it. So last but not least, this is deemed the king of my collection as of now, until I start getting my more niche fragrances that I'm looking to purchase in the future. So until then, this is number one for me. And it's not only intense, but it's Afnan's not only intense. And not only is the name just a great paraphrase, nice little punchline, but man, I got to start this off with telling you the story of how it got deemed the king of my collection. So I wore it to work, and I had wore it to work before at least 2 to 3 times. And as you guys know, with these Middle Easterns, sometimes you have to wear them a couple times, spray it a couple times, let it macerate a little bit in a cold environment, and then it turns into a nuclear fragrance that you probably didn't even know was nuclear. And that's exactly what happened with this one. I did not expect this at all to be as strong as it was. And so I wore it to work the third time. I gave it a third go around. I'm like, okay, I'm going to see if this was really worth the hype that I've been hearing about. I wore like 6 sprays that day. Um, and believe it or not, I can't make this up. The amount of people that came up to me and said, I knew you were here. I knew you were at work. And we talking 3 hours in, 4 hours in, 6 hours in. The last compliment on my fragrance was 8 hours into work. Now, granted, these were not only compliments that were coming up to me and saying, hey, you smell good. No, the compliments I got with this fragrance was people saying, I smelled you at the door. So we talking about 4 or 5 hours of sillage, fragrance sillage, sitting at the door. Now, okay, granted, some people when they work in a warehouse environment, they don't really smell too good. They don't really care about their hygiene too much, and that's kind of unfortunate. But that's just the world we live in. And I have always been one of those people that cared about my hygiene. And a lot of people were like almost thanking me for for wearing this fragrance, because it was like they was like, hey, this is the first thing I smell as soon as I come in, and it smells amazing. So the compliments that I got and still get with this fragrance is insane. And it is still a dupe. It's a dupe of Nishane's Hashivat mixed with like Aventus. But this dupe is awesome. And it definitely does incentivize me to still get Hashivat, just to say I have Hashivat. But until I get it, this is going to be number one. And I'm pretty sure Hashivat would then, take the ring, probably be 1A, 1B, because this DNA is something that I just love, especially how powerful it is. It's insane. So this is my king of my collection right now. I would suggest you guys to go pick it up. No more than like $50, 50 to 5, $67 at the most, $60 at the most. Because anything more than that, you're getting robbed. But at the same time, I wouldn't be mad if this fragrance costs like 80 bucks. It's just that powerful. So I will give it its roses as being the strongest in my collection, having the most powerful sillage in my collection. We're talking to sillage hours into the wearing, still smelling it in one area, and I'm nowhere near that area anymore. So this fragrance is definitely worth the hype. What can I say? Those are some of the most powerful fragrances in my collection. This list will get better. And I promise that I'll bring a better presentation to you guys and better quality fragrances as well. Even though I think that these fragrances are excellent in quality, strong in projection, and will last you all day. Great for the wintertime. Thank you guys for joining me today. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And hey, follow your boy on all social media platforms. I will be posting more on my TikTok, my new TikTok being Afro Scent Addict. So make sure you go check me out over there. Follow me on Instagram. And like I said, like, comment, and subscribe, guys. See you later.